This is my $1.5 million apartment in Toronto. Let's take a look. I've been here for about a year and I'm about to move out. I'll tell you why a bit later, but for now, let's take a look. Welcome to the crib. All right, so our first stop here is the walk-in closet. I honestly don't have a lot of clothes. I don't buy a lot of clothes. I only need the essentials, like my winter jacket and some other random stuff. All right, so let's go into the place where I make all my meals. Well, actually eat all my meals because your boy doesn't cook. The kitchen. All right, so one of my favorite parts of the kitchen is this gas stove right here. It's very hard to find gas stoves downtown. Most of them are just electric. I don't cook, but when I'm heating up my water for, my hot cocoa, it's super important that I have a gas stove so that heats up as fast as possible. Next, we got the Breville. We got the espresso machine. Super important. This is how I pretty much start my day. I also have my whiskey just in case it gets a little stressful during the day. And then my reverse osmosis filter, which pretty much filters all my water. And just so you know, I do not drink tap water. That shit is absolutely disgusting. If you don't know about it, do some research. Moving on, we have the vitamins. We have the vitamin D, iodine, magnesium, and then I have some melatonin just in case I can't fall asleep. And just as a reminder, I have to have a list of what I should take every single day because I'm a busy guy. All right, so let me show you the fridge, guys. Don't judge me, but I have a fucking gingerbread house in my fridge and a bunch of cookies. Now listen, it's Christmas. My boy came here from LA and he wanted to build some houses. So I let him into my home and I went out, did some work, and he was just building houses all day. But other than that, we have the essentials. We have the fruits, we got the dates, we got the coconut water, we have the, carrot juice, so good, and beet juice. I drink these two every single day. I just forgot. And we also have the wine just in case I have guests. I have a good selection of wines, mostly white because red is pretty disgusting. I'm too young for that shit. And another thing that I love about this place is the super tall ceilings. As you can see, we got crown molding. I think that's what it's called. And funny enough, I can't even reach like up here most of the time. I'm not short. I'm not that short. My hinge profile says 6 foot. But yeah, I also have my little cigar case over here, which I haven't been smoking too often just because it is cold outside. I usually like to, smoke cigars in the summer. But recently we've been going to some cigar lounges to smoke during the winter. So it's packed. I'm not gonna go over all this stuff, but it's here just in case I'm, trying to be a nicotine fiend. All right, let's check out the living room. One of the hardest parts about moving in here was furnishing the place. I don't want to furnish another place for another couple years, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, especially this couch. This is one of the comfiest, warmest, coziest couches I have ever sat on, and I paid a pretty penny for this one. Now, let's move on to the TV. This right here is actually not a canvas, crazy to say, but it's a Samsung TV, canvas TV or whatever. This is actually a painting by Monet, and I actually visited his garden outside of Paris this past summer. So this means a lot to me, and whenever I look at it, it keeps me at peace because his garden was a beautiful place. You should go and see it if if you're ever in Paris. One of the best spots in France by far. Then I got the Sonos sound system. Highly recommended. This shit is loud as fuck. Rolex box, Van Cleef box. Got the blankets and everything. And tucked over here is my $1 million ClickFunnels plaque. There's a couple more that should be here. I think they just got lost in the mail, to be honest. But coffee table right here. This is actually one of my favorite pieces, just because it kind of looks like the table's floating. And then everything kind of is tied together with this rug. What is this, tweed? And then over here in this corner, it was pretty empty for a while. I ended up getting this chair just because it looks cool, and also it's one of the most comfortable chairs I've ever had. And then over here, we got the office. I don't spend too much time here, honestly. I thought that when I put this desk here, I would spend a lot of time here, but really, my personality is work from a lot of different places throughout the day. So I go to coffee shop, I work on the counter over there, I work on the couch, sometimes I work over here. But I usually like to move around a couple times a day just so that I can keep my mind fresh and I can keep thinking of new ideas. Also have the library right here, have a ton of books. I don't read all the books because some of the books I just buy for reference, and then I go on Audible and actually listen to the books because I love walking and listening to books. And fun fact, when you're listening to an audiobook or a podcast and you're doing cardio, your brain actually sometimes picks up the information a lot better. So try that. But here we got the bathroom, nothing crazy. We got the shower, toilet, and then we got the essentials over here. Smells super good. I got the Hotel Collection scent. I think that's by the Edition Hotel. Amazing scent. And then we got some Aesop room spray. But over here, we got the washer and dryer all tucked away nicely. And then let's check out the bedroom. All right, so I got another TV here. I have not turned this on in the last couple months. But over here I have all my lights and my camera equipment because, you never know what's gonna go down in the bedroom, so I wanna make sure I'm prepared. And then we got a couple books here with the blue light glasses just in case I wanna read before bed and stimulate my subconscious mind. Lastly, we got the closet, walk-in closet. I don't wear a lot of these clothes, honestly. You know me, I like to wear one sweater, one shirt, one pair of pants, and just wash those about 7 times a week. Then I got some Louis, Amiri, Alexander McQueen's, Diptyque, bunch of stuff up there. Now, my least favorite part of this crib, especially in the winter, because it's cold as fuck out here, is the balcony. But check out these doors. They open up from the middle on some European shit. So love that. We got the European table over here. We got the ashtray with the massive ashtray in the back for the cigars. And then we got a little couch over here. Now I don't usually use this in the winter, but today's not that bad weather. So sometimes I like to sit here and think.
Bro, we've been sitting here for 5 minutes. Are we gonna go?
Yeah. So that pretty much wraps up. All right, so now we're gonna go outside. We're gonna go check out the neighborhood, and I wanna talk to you a little bit about why I moved here, why I'm moving out, the mindset it takes to make as much money as I make, and a bunch of stuff. So let's get it. All right, so as you saw in that little montage, that's my neighborhood. It's beautiful. It's actually one of the reasons why I lived here. And one of the reasons why I'm leaving is because it's actually cold as fuck in the winter. But we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, pretty much everything you saw there is 1 to 2 blocks away. So I'm really in the thick of it, but where I live is kind of secluded. It's pretty hidden. So anytime I step outside, there's pretty much almost nobody around. But yeah, let's talk about how much I paid for the place. So obviously I didn't drop $1.5 million on the crib. I actually don't own any real estate, and there's a good reason as to why, but I basically paid $50,000 upfront for the whole year, and then another $20,000 for all the furnishing and everything, which that part I own. Unfortunately, I couldn't rent the furniture. I wish I could, so I could just give it back, but I'll just store that in a locker right before I leave. And the main reason why I didn't actually buy the place is because number one, I want to be very flexible with where I'm at location wise. And then number two, I don't want a 10, 20 year payment, because obviously I'm not going to drop 1.5 mil cash for the crib, and that's just what I'm comfortable with. What I recommend for you is to understand how you want to move your money. Some people like to keep their money in stocks or securities. Some people like to keep it all liquid, and some people love real estate, right? I personally am not a fan of real estate. I want to make sure that I can just like sell off my assets very quickly. And if you want to learn more about how you might want to manage your money, you should definitely read The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, I believe. Great book. You're gonna definitely learn a lot about yourself. Now, going into why I moved here, obviously it's one of the wealthiest and luxurious neighborhoods in Toronto. I love it, and this might sound pretentious, but I definitely want to be surrounded by people that are wealthier than I am, because I believe environment is extremely important. Just over 4 years ago, when I started my whole entrepreneurship journey, I was literally living in a $230 a month gross student house, roll the clip. And the first thing that I upgraded when I started making $10,000 a month consistently was my environment and my food. So I literally just like left Canada, went to Miami for a couple months, and then in the summer went back here and got a place in this little European ass town. This beautiful European ass town. Now, to talk a little bit about why I'm moving out, well, if you haven't guessed it, it's fucking cold. But the main reason is I want to do a lot of traveling in 2025. And I did a little bit of a test a couple months ago where I went to Tulum for a month just to see how hard I could work there, and just to see if, you know, maybe living the digital nomads lifestyle was for me. And honestly, I had a really great time. I was extremely productive, and that kind of showed me that all I really need is good food, sun, and an environment of other higher level individuals around me. So I am going to be traveling with my friends. We're going to be grinding our businesses, and it's going to be a fun time. And then in the summer, I'll come back here, you know, visit family, live here for a little bit. I am actually getting a new spot. It is a lot cheaper, but it's a lot bigger, and I'm gonna be moving in with some other content creators, which is gonna be dope for the summer. But I definitely want to travel pretty much most of the year. Now, obviously, I could afford to travel and keep this place, but honestly, I've always invested as much money as I can into my business, and I don't really want my overhead to increase too significantly. Like, I think for the past couple years, my overhead is about $10,000 a month, which might sound a lot to a lot of people, but obviously I make a lot more than that, and it isn't a big deal. But I want to make sure that I always keep my overhead as low as possible so I can keep investing in my businesses. And honestly, back to the psychology of money, I love having low overhead because that doesn't get me stressed out, because not all months in business are gonna be good months for you, right? So maybe one month you lose money, but you're fine because you have really good cash reserves, really low personal overhead. And that's personally how I like to live my life, because that allows me to live stress-free and think creatively while I'm working on my businesses, which I think is super important. Now, I know a bunch of you probably watching this are asking, you know, how the fuck do you make so much money, whatever. Well, honestly, I've been working on my core businesses for years, right? And if you work on one business long enough, that just compounds over time, and you're gonna be able to build a lot of leverage within that business, hire the right people, and ultimately make a lot more money month over month, year over year. All right, so it was cold as fuck outside, literally -1 degrees. Had to go inside, my hand was freezing. But yeah, just to go over some more things about business and, you know, how I'm able to make a lot of money. And really it comes down to having the courage to pull as many different levers as possible, right? A lot of these online business models work, whether it be drop shipping, FBA, affiliate marketing, doesn't really matter. What you have to understand is, number one, what actually brings the money in, right? And usually for most of these businesses, it's content, right? Whether it be posting organic content and attracting customers that way, or creating content, running it on Facebook ads or Snapchat ads or TikTok ads, whatever. And so that requires a lot of testing, because the more you can post and optimize that content, the more views you're gonna get, the more customers are gonna come in. And then once you have a lot of people looking at you, then you could do optimizations in the back end for whatever you're selling. And usually after you test a lot and you pull a lot of different levers, something happens and your business just like literally 10x's within a month, because you've cracked like the next level. And so if you do that enough, if you test and iterate enough, then you're gonna see massive growths month over month and year over year on your business. And one month you might be making $1,000, the next month might be $10,000, and then you might have months of like $100,000, $100,000, $100,000, all because you've put in the work, tested enough things, and then boom, you see a crazy growth in your business from just one thing. But a lot of the times you don't know what that thing is unless you test, right? So like I said, have the courage to test. Now with all my businesses, I literally use content. That's my number one source of customers. And most of my businesses uses Instagram, right? So Instagram is where I get most of my customers, whether that's pushing organic content or running ads on Instagram. Usually I do both. And with new businesses, I usually start with just posting organically. That way I can build a foundation of customers, build a community, and then I could run ads to those customers and also find new customers. So I don't want to invest thousands and tens of thousands of dollars into a new business. I would rather just post organic content and see if I can drive demand that way, self-fund the business, and then grow it from there. Anyways, if you like videos like this, I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling. If you want vlogs, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.